Good evening, friends. I'm Dr. Aajay Shah, and this is our another Facebook Live. I've been doing this Facebook Live on a regular basis for the last 6-7 weeks. We obviously have a lot of downtime on our hand. Some of us are staying home, and I think this is the best time to learn new things, grow from this crisis, exercise more, sleep better, sleep more, have a better relationship, spend more time with spouse, spend time more with friends and family. So again, I want this opportunity on Facebook Live to learn more, educate each other, grow each other, and support each other and help each other. So hopefully these Facebook Lives have been beneficial to you. This Facebook Live will be on YouTube. So if you subscribe to our channel, Healthy Living with Dr. Aajay Shah, you'll be able to also find this on YouTube. There are a lot of other good videos on our channel also. So watch all of those videos. Today I'm bringing a topic which is very dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, from this topic, I have benefited tremendously over the last 3 years. So again, this topic is very dear to my heart, very important to me, and I have benefited tremendously over the last 3 years. And that topic is daily journaling. Daily journaling. Journaling has been recommended for obviously many centuries. Many people wrote daily journal. If you remember from my teaching and my discussions, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor 2000 years ago, did a daily journal, and that journal has been now published as a book called Meditations. And that book has been one of the most popular book. I read that book, great book. So his journal actually turned into a message for the whole world. So, journaling is very important. All great people have journal. Many people have turned their journal into their biographies. So journaling is very important. I have designed a very unique way of journaling. Matter of fact, to be frank with you, I've not seen the way I journal anywhere else. So again, this is my unique method. It has worked for me, and my sincere hope is that you will get some ideas from how I journal, and obviously you will create your own unique method of journaling. But this method, what I have, is very comprehensive. It includes everything you need to journal, everything what's going in your life. So it becomes really a very comprehensive way of journaling. So let's see how to journal. So my journaling takes about 6 minutes every evening. It takes about 6 minutes every evening, and I'll show you how to journal it. You can do it either in a journal book. You can buy a book to journal it, a large notebook, or ideally, in my opinion, you should do it on your phone, because the phone is always with you. So I have journaled my things on my iPhone for the last 3 years, and I save all those notes on iCloud so that those notes and those journaling will be permanently saved. So you can do it on your phone on a note function. An iPhone, it's a note function. I'm sure Android has some kind of a note function also, and you can journal one note per day, and I'll show you how to journal it on your iPhone, and you can do same thing on Android. Again, like I said, I've done my journaling for the last 3 years. I've benefited tremendously. So let me tell you the benefits of journaling. Benefits of journaling include tremendous amount of happiness, tremendous amount of gratitude, tremendous amount of cultivation of kindness. It also lowers anxiety. It also prevents depression. It also improves relationship. It also makes you live long. It also increases your monetary success, and overall it increases success in your life. So journaling, in my opinion, is very, very critical. In my opinion, a must thing to do if you want to succeed in life. Journaling essentially is a written reflection, written contemplation of how your life is going. So journaling in writing is one of the most important habits you can make. So let's see how I journal it. And again, my journaling method is a very unique method. I've never seen it anywhere. So you can just listen to it, understand it, and then eventually make your own journaling method. If you like my method, then just go ahead and comment on this video. with your email address, and I will send you my method how I journal it. My method is very comprehensive, so if you like it, just write your email address on the comment section, and then we will send you the whole journaling method to your email. So again, send your email address on the comment section. So let's see how I journal it. I start my journaling, for example, on Monday. On Monday, I have a note where it's called gratitude journal. So every Monday, I have one separate note where I call it gratitude journal. Gratitude journal includes your gratitude, your blessing, your thank you to the people, to the things you own, things God has given you, and the events which has happened in your life. For example, I have a master list of my gratitude, which includes living in America, greatest democratic country, living in Midwest, living in Okemos, being a cardiologist, having a great house, great spouse, great kids, parents still living, great work, just I have a master list of my gratitude. And it has been proven now the people who write gratitude journal regularly also actually are happier. So gratitude journal is a number one type of journal. If you want to do one journal, make sure you do gratitude journal. But I realized that there are other types of journaling one should do also more than a gratitude journal. Other thing you can extend is you can also send a gratitude text or gratitude email or gratitude phone call or gratitude visit, which is an extension of gratitude journaling. But minimum you should do is a gratitude journaling every Monday. It will take you about 5 minutes to create a master list the first time, but then every Monday it will take you 1 minute to add the daily gratitude. For example, today's my gratitude was that I came across a book called Fourth Agreements. I read that book in 2 hours, so that was my gratitude that I was able to buy that book, read that book, find a time to read that book. So that was my gratitude. So again, I have a master list of my gratitudes which has happened over the last 58 years of my life, and then I add every day what other new things I should be thankful for, and I add that list. So have that list every Monday and then read that list every Monday. Reading that list will take you no more than 1 to 2 minutes. When you read that list, it definitely makes you a lucky person. When you read your gratitude list, it makes you aware, it makes you realize how fortunate you are to have all those things in your life. So again, gratitude journaling, in my opinion, is the most important journaling. Minimum all of you should do is a gratitude journaling. But I want you to do more than gratitude journaling. The second thing I do on Monday is called service journal. Service journal is the one where you write down what one thing you did today which served your spouse, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your nation, world, and what kind of service you did. Because it's been said that people who do regular service are the happy people. So again, doing some kind of service every day is very important. And you write all the service you did on that Monday journal for all the service for the whole week. So all the service for the whole week you write on Monday evening. Again, it will take you 1 minute or 2 minutes to write what service you did for the week. The next journal I do on Monday is called enjoyment journal. So what fun I had this week. And that could be as simple as like finding a great book to read, having some great food, either you cooked or your spouse cooked, and you having a great fun eating that food, or meeting a friend, or watching a good movie, whatever enjoyment, or exercising, whatever enjoyment you had for the week. So it will take you 1 or 2 minutes to see what enjoyment you had. I think it's important to write down what enjoyment we have, because then we start to make a pattern what makes us have fun. And once you make that pattern, you obviously will do more of those things. Obviously, have only healthy fun, healthy enjoyment. Don't go for too much alcohol or other unhealthy behavior, but definitely make a list of your enjoyment journal. The next journal I make on Monday is called Good Memories Journal. Good Memories Journal, because I think they said that it's a very important to savor our memories. It's very important to replay those memories in our head. So for example, I have a master list of my good memories, including growing up in India, having parents' love, buying my first scooter, buying my first motorbike, getting in the medical school. So I have a master list of my good memories, and I add on Monday evening if any other good memories I like to add. So master list took me about 5 minutes to make. I add more and more things to it, and I read it in 1 minute every Monday evening. The next next list I make Monday evening is called my refuge list, which is where I rely on people or a place or things where I can take a refuge, because we all at times are vulnerable. We all at times need support. We all at times need some kind of salvage. We all at times need some kind of rescue, and that's where it's important you know what your refuge are. For example, for me, my refuge is my spouse, my kids, my parents, my friends. I also have a refuge in going to a Schuler bookstore in our town, where I go and sit for an hour or two, and then I really enjoy, I really feel great about just sitting there. So I have my refuge list. And the last thing I do on Monday evening is I call my contentment score for the week. So how I content was with my relations, with my work, with my spouse, with my family, with my material things. So how content I was. So this was my Monday journaling. Monday journaling takes me now no more than 6 minutes. I read my past entries, and I add new entries to that list on Monday evening. And then I have all this different journaling in different notes in my phone, and I add on that note the next week, Monday's date, and add things to it. But I have all journaling saved on my phone so I can read it every Monday, and I have a running list now. So this was Monday. Tuesday is a very interesting day. It takes me only 6 minutes to do Tuesday journaling. Tuesday journaling includes, number one, my worry journal. Worry journal is very important to keep because as we know, out of our 1,000 worries, 999 never materialize. But we always worry when we are going through that thing on our mind. But most of the time, those worries never materialize. But you forget that those worries never materialize because your mind tricks you. But if you have made a list of your worries, and if you are adding your worries as you go, then you start to see a pattern that your most worries never materialize. So I have my worry list of last 57 years, whatever I can recall, and I realized that most of those worries never materialize. If something made you worried this week, add to that list with a new date on it, and you will realize and you will see that in few weeks, few months, those worries have resolved and those worries never came true. So again, worry list is very important to gain the confidence that what you worry never happens most of the time. The next list I make on Tuesday is called fear journal or fear list. Whatever fears I have. For example, I have a fear of of swimming. I have fear of many other things. I have my own master list. And if I develop any new fear for that week, then I add it to that list. It's a very small list, but I still maintain my fear list. And the next entry on the Tuesday I do is called burden journal. My burdens. My burdens include things what I'm responsible for, things which can put some pressure on me. And for example, having a house mortgage payment is a burden. If you have any kind of a health responsibility of a person, technically it's a burden on you. So if you know your burdens, then you can plan, you can manage those burdens better. So make your burdens list. So this was on Tuesday. It takes me now 6 minutes. Next is a Wednesday, again 6 minutes. Wednesday, the first journaling I do is called achievement journal. So I have a master list of all my achievements, and then I add on a weekly basis if I achieved anything else. For example, my master list includes getting in a medical school as an achievement, becoming a cardiologist in America as an achievement. So I have my own master list of my achievements, and then if any other achievement I gain during the week, I add to the list. So I have a master list. I write and I add, and then I look at my achievement journal every Wednesday. And then the next list is a victories journal, which essentially is an achievement type journal, but those victories include overcoming any illness, overcoming any unfortunate death in the family, overcoming any kind of adversity you have come across, and you have prevailed. Those are my victories list, and I have now made a long victory list, and it gives me confidence, it gives me assurance that I'm capable of achieving and going through any adversity, and realizing that my adversity quotient is very high. And the last thing I do on Wednesday is my thought journal. My thought journal is the one where I write down what I've been thinking this week, what is going through my mind, what kind of thought process, healthy thoughts going through my mind, what kind of other thoughts, including unhealthy and fearful thoughts, are going through my mind. So checking my thoughts in a written way also helps me, and I do that once a week. Next journal is the Thursday. Thursday again takes me only 6 minutes, and that journal is number one is the bad event journal. So you should have a list of all the bad events happen to you in your life. So I have a master list of all my bad events, and then I add to the list every week if any other bad event happened. For example, 10 years ago I had gone through a major depression and I've recovered from it. Actually, I've flourished now and I feel better than ever in my life right now. So again, but I have my own list of bad events, and many times I write next to it how I overcame it. So have a list of your bad events, and then you realize that all the bad events actually are many times the seed for new growth, and you actually become stronger after all those bad events. But until you have the list of bad events, your mind will forget and you will not gain the confidence. The next thing is a stress list, a stress journal. Everything you had gone through, the stress in the past and how you overcame it, what your current stresses are, what your stress for the week was. For example, if you have a sick child, that's a stress on you as a parent, and then see how you're overcoming it. Just writing down the stress. You don't have to write the details how you're overcoming, just a list of the stress itself. Just putting it on a paper as a list makes you more organized. It takes 1 minute to write and 1 minute to read all your past stresses. And then the next thing I do on Thursdays, I call my reading journal, where I literally write in my note what books I read for this week. And I've been consistently writing name of the book, name of the author, the one-line summary of what the book is saying, book is talking about, and then whether on a scale of 0 to 100, how good of that book it is. Because if I want to recommend somebody a book, now I can just pull out my note and I can recommend a book which I like it, and based on the person's interest and person's likings and person's needs. So I have a list of books going which are in my journal. So that was my Thursday journal. The Friday journal again takes only 6 minutes, and Friday journal is a micro stress journal, I call it micro stress, because sometimes we don't realize that micro stress actually, if it accumulates over the week, can eventually lead to major mental health. And micro stress should be as minimum as possible. Micro stress happens in everybody's life, where we should not be faced by it. For example, if you get stuck in the traffic, it's a micro stress. For some people it's a macro stress, but for most people it's a micro stress. If you spill a coffee, it's a micro stress. So again, we all go through. If you run late to your kid's school to drop your kid off, that's a micro stress. So when a person goes through micro stress, if they don't handle it well, then eventually will accumulate to a major mental illness. So if you make a list of your micro stress for the week, then hopefully you'll be able to learn from it. The next is I call a proactive list. That is on Friday. It takes 2-3 minutes to make a master list, and proactive list could include what things you should be proactive about. For example, exercise, healthy eating, your finances. Once you make a master list, it takes another 30 seconds or 1 minute to add to that proactive list. More proactive you are, more successful you will be, more healthy you will be, more long you will live, and more happy you will be. So have a proactive list. And then next thing on Friday is, I call it mindfulness journal or mindfulness score. How mindful you were this week, what events where you were very involved, where you were in the flow, where you had forgotten everything except doing that activity. So you should be able to assign a mindfulness score, or I call it a flow score, F-L-O-W, flow score. How many times you were in the flow during the week. And I think as you spend more time in the flow throughout the day for the whole week, you actually have a higher chance of happiness, higher chance of good health, higher chance of success, higher chance of living long. So staying in the flow is very important. But until you assess how much flow events happen, you will not know whether you were in the flow or not. Next thing is a Saturday. Saturday again takes 6 minutes. Number one is a goal list, your past goals and how many you succeeded, and your current goals, what are you working on. So again, goal list is very important, and you can add every week if you have another goal for this week. The next thing is on Saturday is I call happiness journal. What things made you happy this week? What makes you happy itself is a list. So I always write every Saturday what made me happy this week. And by formally writing it down, what made me happy, I have now list of things which I know makes me happy, and I try to reach out to that list whenever I need some juice of happiness. And those activities without fail makes me happy. For example, going to a bookstore and reading a great self-help book or many other books makes me very happy. And I have that in my list. So whenever I feel a little down, I just go to the bookstore, I sit for half an hour, 1 hour, and I'm happy again. So have a happiness journal, happiness list is very important. It takes only 1 minute to do it. Next thing I do on Saturday is called Be on Your Own Side journal. Be on your own side journal. It's very important we protect ourselves. We are friend to ourselves. We stand up for ourselves, because many of us are actually our own worst enemy. But if you have a list on a weekly basis where you stood up for yourself, to a coworker, to a family member, to a boss, any person, you stood up for yourself, you are very assertive, not aggressive, but very assertive, and you made sure that your rights are protected and you yourself are protected. So again, having a list of when you stood up for yourself, eventually you will start to make a list of a common scenario where you stood up for yourself, and you will learn from it. And the last is Sunday, again 6 minutes Sunday journaling. Sunday journaling is very important, where I spend a few minutes, 6 minutes, where I call self-worth image. Self-worth image. I think it's very important we have our own image of a self-worth. And it should be a very good image of a self-worth. For example, for me, and I have a list of that. For example, for me, I have a self-image of being a hardworking person, being a kind person, being a cardiologist, being a good reader. I have my own image of self-worth image, and I read that thing every Sunday. I add more things to it if I develop any self-image for myself. Next thing is a very important journal is a positive childhood experience journal, because when we were a child, we were very innocent, we were very kind, we were very nice, no hatred, no greed, no comparison. We all loved our friends. We never gossiped. We never hurt anybody. That childhood time was the best time. So memories you build during the childhood, actually, in my opinion, are the golden memories. Those memories for me, whenever I even quickly replay in my mind, or whenever I see a childhood friend, those memories come back, and those memories makes me instantly happy, instantly serene. So again, those childhood memory list is very important. Many of us, when we are down, we cannot recall those good childhood memories. But if you have made a list formally in your phone, your childhood memories, like getting your first scooter, or going to a school with a friend, or having watching any kind of a great movie, any childhood memory you have, if you have a list, you can access it whenever you are feeling down and feel instantly good about it. And like I said, I have a lot of childhood memories, but once in a while a new memory pops up and I add to that list. And the next thing is last thing I do on Sunday evening when I finish my journaling for Sunday is that how was my healthy eating score on 0 to 100? How was my physical activity score for the week on 0 to 100? How was my average sleep hours for the whole week? I have that Fitbit device, so I know how many hours I slept average for the week. And it takes me 1 minute to write. I read my previous journals and I learn from it. So again, this journaling is very important. This is a very comprehensive way of journaling. More detail you are, more benefit you will get. I journal for last 3 years. I do in a very broken way sometimes. I don't necessarily do in the evening. Sometimes in the daytime, if I'm free at work for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I quickly finish my journaling for that day. Sometimes I've done journaling in a random fashion, and then I try to put it together when I have a time. So again, journaling is very important. Do every evening journaling, or do journaling whenever you have free moment during the daytime. You don't have to sit down in the evening and do it. But gratitude journaling journaling is must. If you want to do one journaling, do the gratitude journaling. And second, I would say also that do the worry journaling, because many of us worry more than we need to. So if you have made a list of the worries which you had and the list of the worry you have this week, you realize in 1 month, 2 months, that most of the worries never materialize. So do this journaling. If you want slides from my presentation, write your email and comment address. We will send you the slides. Great slides to read, great slides to learn, and great slides to do your comprehensive journaling. I hope you like this video. This video will be on YouTube in next hour or two. So you can watch it again and again. This is the most effective and efficient journaling I've ever seen anywhere else. I've read a lot of things about journaling, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on journaling, but this method, in my opinion, is the most complete method to advance yourself in the journey called life. So again, this journaling, great for me, hopefully great for you. At least take part of it and start journaling from tonight. Journal your day today, say how your day went, and then start journaling every night. You will benefit it. I guarantee you, I assure you, I promise you. Thank you.